live. We're gonna see how this works. I have discovered through troubleshooting procedures what the fuck is wrong with my phone. Pretty sure I figured it out. So we'll see who gets here, because I'm doing this live feed as an experiment. Who's here? Let's see if the frickin'... Who's here? Let's see. Hey! June! How you doing, bud? Hey, Ray. So, this is twofold. I wanted to do a live feed, and I'm doing an experiment with my phone. So I looked up the symptoms of what my phone's doing. So I don't know if you guys heard me complain about the fact that my battery on my phone dies. Sometimes it's fine, and sometimes you'll pick it up and that thing's hot as a fucking pistol for no reason, and just running the battery like every 2 seconds. I'm losing 1% of battery, and my battery will die in a matter of minutes. So I looked it up online, and apparently there's a motherboard issue with my phone. And one of the troubleshooting things is turn everything off on your phone, do a hard reset, which is you hold both the buttons until it starts over, until it reboots, then let it sit and see what's drawing battery. So everything's off. And then you slowly go through and you start opening apps and seeing if that changes it. And I came to the conclusion, and they said not like apps that you download, like the ones that come standard from Apple, like the calendar, things like that, that might be drawing. What it is every time I use my camera, as we are now, it initiates a fault on the motherboard, and the battery just fucking runs. Like, whoosh, runs through it. So, there is a fix for it, but I would have to send my phone to these guys. What's up, Yaka? I would have to send my phone to these guys for 2 days. And it's $149. So what the plan is, my wife needs a new phone anyway. My wife always gets the new phone. This phone is old. I'm feeling okay. How are you? And so, what the plan is, my daughter's gonna get this phone. I am gonna get it fixed, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna upgrade my wife's phone. I'll take her old phone, which is still in really good shape, and then get a new fucking number for this, a new line, and give this phone to my daughter, because yes, I know she's only 10, turning 11, but the fact is she goes to a school where basically she's in high school. So she does need a way to keep in touch with us, but I'm gonna put parental controls on said phone. So that's where we're at. I did some troubleshooting. I was a technician in the military. No, I do not like Android. I'm not an Android guy. I'm perfectly good with Apple. I love the fact that I was like, you can fuck shit up on an Android. On an Android phone, you can screw stuff up. I'm that guy that needs a little bit of it's a motherboard issue. It's not a common problem. It's an issue with the motherboard, the battery control on the motherboard. And sometimes it just happens. Sometimes it's because something got damaged. This phone's been dropped a few times. It's a good chance that I did it. But that's the only thing that does it. And so right now, if I were to feel the back of, holy crap, that's hot, it's when the camera's on. And we've made trips where I filmed everything for days at Disneyland on this phone. So it's a new issue. But it's not that expensive to fix. The only problem is I would be without my phone for 2 days, and I can't have that with business. So that means that the plan would be to put my number on hers, her number's on the new phone line, and put that number on this phone for my daughter, and I get the motherboard issue fixed. So, That way there's no interruption in YouTube. I don't want the iPhone X. The wife doesn't want the iPhone X. The wife wants the large iPhone 8, I guess is what it is that she wants, the big one. The phablet. So, shot a video yesterday. It's already up on Patreon. For those of you who are not Patreons, you will get to see that today at about noon, if I remember to make it public. And then I shot a video this morning that I'm almost done editing, but I have stuff that I have to do here. I have work that has to happen right now. So, it will go up today sometime. I may go ahead and grab my old phone. The other thing too, this phone, the price is bigger on the iPhone X too. Nico's coming. I'm trying to get stuff done before Nico gets here, and then Nico and I are both going up to the shop. I'm actually killing time till Nico gets here. I don't have a set time schedule. I am working on a Fortis 2.0 for Jeremy Morris in Texas. So I just did a video about EDCing the Reich Hummingbird. I actually haven't even taken it off yet because the thing is, it's not difficult to EDC because you forget it's there. I've been carrying it for about a week, but I gave it an honest shot. There's some people it's probably perfect for as an EDC. It's not so much for me. So watch for that video if you're a Patreon. If you're a patron, it'll be up sometime this morning. I got to do that, and then hey, my iPad, bring it out here and finish watching Black Panther. I like, really want to see the end of that. I got like 35 minutes left. God, these things get sharp. So the edge profile on these is so super thin. It's, wow. I honestly think for as thin as this is, if I had a micrometer, I would say, yeah, the Fortis 2.0 is slicey as shit because it's even thinner than this behind the edge. It really is. Not much, but you can visually pick that out. So, like I said, the nice thing about this is the S35VN that we does is by far, I think, so far that I've handled, the S35VN from Wii, I think is the best. It's better than the S35VN I've seen come out of Reat. You can just feel it on the stones that it just has been done better. The heat treat has been done better. You can feel the way it interacts with the stones. Goddamn mosquitoes. And so, well, S35VN is one of those ones that, you know, probably could stop being used as considered a high-end and just maybe just a standard steel. It's still really good if it's done right. I would like to say that Wii's is the best, but I haven't got to do any of Cold Steel's S35VN, and I'm not gonna lie to you, the same thing I told Chris and Elliot, you can say a lot of things about Cold Steel, and I have, but one of the things that two things you will never say about Cold Steel, their locks are substandard, that's the first one, and two, you're not gonna say their heat treat is bad on anything. I have never had a Cold Steel knife, even in a budget steel, that was not just amazing. AUS 8, that AUS 8 that they did on a lot of their knives. If you had told me that it was a higher tier steel and the blade wasn't marked, if you had told me that, I'd have believed you. Their AUS 8 was, and still is, probably some of the best in the knife business. They get their heat treat right. There's a lot of other things I'll say that they don't do, but as far as that, they're getting that part right. Or at least historically have. I don't know, like I said, I don't know how the current batch of steels from them is, because I haven't gotten anything from them that recently in S35 Beat, but I will tell you, I'm not a fan of XHP. I don't know, are you guys commenting? Because you know what, I can't, this fucking $1,000 for, yeah, there we go. These notifications are really pissing me off. There we go. There we go. So, I do know, like I said, not a huge fan of XHP, but the stuff that came from Cold Steel was awesome. That's the best XHP I've sharpened. It came out amazing. I would imagine that they would do the same with their S35VN. So, but like I said, right now, having not handled it, Wii's S35VN is leaps and bounds above anything else. It holds an edge way better than Chris Reeves' Sabenzas in S35VN. It holds it better than, way better than Kaiser. And Kaiser makes good knives. Now, I will say, you guys are going to hear me say something. I've done, so our anonymous benefactor, the guy that has sent me numerous things for the channel and has sent me stuff, he started buying a bunch of Two Sons knives. Not Two Sons like S-O-N-S, like Two Sons like S-U-N-S. And they are a Chinese-made brand, and they've, so far the ones I've done for him have all been in D2. But those knives are really well done, and they are not expensive. I would like to say that Two Sons is going to be one of those companies that is going to start giving... We're going to see the same thing in the Chinese market of knives that we're currently seeing in the US market, where China is giving America, like America has got to try and catch up with China. I think we're going to see the same thing in China, where companies are going to catch up, and the companies that are not staying on top of it, like Reich, I haven't heard anything, really seen a lot from Reich. They make some unique knives. Two Sons, I think, is going to start falling into that like Best Tech did, where they're starting to catch up with like Kaiser and Wii and Riyadh. I think it's going to happen, because those knives, while they have minor little flaws here and there, just over the last little while, their knives have, from the first one I saw till now, wow, they're getting so much better. The little flaws and little inconsistencies I was seeing, they're not there anymore. They're really not. They are stepping their game up, and the other Chinese makers probably need to keep their eye on that. Which I bet they do. So, not at all trying to throw this out like, oh, all knives should be made in China now. No, no. I would love to see American production pull their head out of their ass and figure out something and get to where that you can make it. But I mean, like that Millet Torrent, well, that's an attractive knife. It's not. The quality on it is not near as good. So I think Millet Torrent made in America was $400 something. I would take any of my Wii knives over that any day of the week, because there's just, the blade is a little off center no matter what you do. It favors the show scale. I've tried everything. It's not like I don't know how to center a knife. It's a lot like Benchmade. Like you start to tighten it and it starts to drift a little bit, and then it's so tight that there's just nothing happening. So I found a spot where it's not gonna touch the scale, and I Loctited it in place. That pivot is in there. That's That's the problem with American manufacturing. You're paying more to get something that's not done as well. So by the time you start getting a cheap American manufacturer, you're looking at the same quality as like a 30, you get to a $200 knife made by Millet, and you're looking at being able to get the same quality with a $40 knife made by Best Tech. You really are. I'm not joking. It's atrocious. It's disgusting. It makes me sick, but it's true. I have a Best Tech swordfish that I forgot I had bought with Patreon money to replace Aaron Rowe's Best Tech swordfish that got stolen. I got it through Massdrop, and I was moving some stuff around. I was like, oh, holy shit, I still have Aaron's knife that I bought for him. Because I felt so bad when I sent that package, and I couldn't replace the Fox Tur because it's more expensive, but I definitely could take $30 of the Patreon money and throw it into a knife for Aaron to replace his Best Tech swordfish. Same time I lost my Skaha. Same package. That sucked. And it sucked because the Skaha was a gift. It was a gift from Dwayne. Dwayne Smotherman bought it for me, and to lose it, it sucked. Sorry guys, got distracted. I forget what I was talking about. I honed in on that. I zoned in on that blade. I have got to reload these strops. And it's looking like it's gonna have to happen like right now, which means that I won't be able to strop anything for about an hour. But these are the new strops. If you remember what the old ones look like, I have loaded it enough that that's metal. So I will show you how to clean these strops and load them. How's that sound? If you give me just a moment. God damn, that's vicious. That's a vicious edge. Oh my, god damn, these get sharp. Fuck. Look at that. You hear that? No sound. Well, I mean, maybe a little. Oh, fuck, I forgot you were gonna do that. I forgot about that. What's the little problem? What's the little problem there, Yakov? Is it broken? So I forgot about that entirely. Forgot we even talked that. Give me just a second. I'm gonna show you how to clean these strops and reload them. Fucking goddamn chats. I don't care, bro. I don't care if it's black. My first one was black. So, this is how you do this. So, I mean, I really need to do it. I've been putting it off. You ball up a paper towel. This is a nice thing about these, being balsa wood. See all that? See that? So since it's balsa wood, I can clean almost all that material out of there real easy with a couple paper towels. So I mean, it's still kind of shiny, but that's easily gonna be taken care of once it gets wet and the new fibers pop up. And you do the same thing with the 1/2 micron. See how, like, immediately Let's see if I can lighten it up even more. There's still a shiny spot right there. Let's see. Right there. So they get wet from time to time. It leaves water stains. This one got coffee spilled on it. Take care of your equipment, dummy. So the biggest thing is when you load them, because the stuff gets in the air, I take the one that I'm not loading and I lay it face down somewhere else and then begin the process. So this is my 1 micron, and you just basically wet it, and then you set it off the side, and then you rinse your hands off, because you don't want to get 1 micron on your half micron. Getting a half micron on your 1 micron, not a big deal. 1 micron dust on your half micron, and you've kind of defeated the purpose of having 2 different straps. My back hurts. It ain't always the years. Sometimes it's just the mileage. You guys want to see how much I sharpened yesterday? So you guys saw, let's see here. This thing is hot. Let's turn this around. So this was completely full of metal dust and stuff. I just cleaned these stones off, and I just used that one to the point where it's got a slick on it. But that bucket right there, that is a bucket that I was using yesterday to rinse stuff off, because this just wasn't enough. Did a lot of sharpening. See? Have I tried using an eraser? Not on balsa wood. I wouldn't use it on balsa wood. I think it would take off more material than I need. I'm not actually taking off any material when I'm just using paper towel. I'm just cleaning off the surface. So now, there's our 1 micron. Gotta load our half micron the same way. And if you don't get an even coating, you can just use your finger and smear it around to get an even coating, which is, this one looks like it needs that as well. And then all you have to do is just let it dry. So now I can feel like the water, just like wet sanding, the water has raised those fibers that I want, that are back, to raise them back up, that do the actual stropping. And here we go. Those sit and dry, and I can use them in a little bit. This stuff's expensive though. This is like, this shit is like, let's see, I think they're 30 bucks a bottle, if I remember. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I haven't bought any for a little while. I bought some here a few months ago. I don't remember what I paid. But it gets all over everything. It's all now in my sharpening bowls, but that's not a big deal. Half micron, 1 micron, it's not a big deal. So, that knife's done. That knife we're not sharpening. That one's not getting sharpened yet. We will, what's in this one? Let's see. Ooh, a gent. I'm gonna hold off on this because I want to ask him if he wants me to stonewash that. So let's do his crux first. Now, I think that the handmade American, or American handmade, what is it? Handmade American, Hand American. That's what it is. Hand American brand is. I think it's the same price. I didn't like the DMT. I didn't like the DMT. It was too thick. It felt thicker. So now I had lost a bottle of half micron that was pretty much half full, and I dumped it in with this one. So I have an abundance of half micron. So it's good stuff. I don't see it, like a lot of them, there's not a difference. I just, like I said, the DMT one, I don't know what binding, the emulsion agent that they used, it's thicker, and it doesn't coat the balsa as well as I would want it to, if that makes sense. I do know there's times I say things that probably don't make sense, but I think that one does. I sent my sister a picture earlier today, and it was a video of a guy doing something completely stupid, and he hurt himself pretty bad. And I was like, I sent her, I was like, the quotation below the video was like, "Hey, y'all, watch this shit." Hillbilly phrase, typically followed by somebody yelling, "Call an ambulance." Not cheap though. I wish it would gain some popularity and come down. Finding the emulsions you want too can be a pain in the ass. The last time I bought that, I think I bought them from the Wicked Edge website. It's the only place I found the one I like. And it was actually cheaper than when I had paid for it on Amazon. But Amazon stopped carrying that brand. So I really do like that brand. It's just about the perfect consistency. It's the other thing too, the DMT one, it didn't feel like I got as consistent a finish when I used it. It's like it was iffy. Like sometimes, you know, it didn't feel as polished as this. So, I just got a message from Nico. He's not gonna be here till 12. He wants to know if he wants to still meet here at the house. I'm gonna tell him yes. So, Nico, hurry up, log into my live feed, and you'll know. I'll shoot him a message. Dog's having a dream again. Listen. She does it all the time. I'm not sure if she's just dreaming or if the dog's having a fucking seizure, because she twitches. And it's really hard to wake her up. That's all I need. Another medical problem for a fucking dog. As a retiree, I pay $34 a month for me, the wife, and the kid for medical insurance. Fortunately, it's not cheap like that for the dog. I can go to any of the TRICARE clinics for free. I can't take the dog to any veterinary clinic for free. Whew. This one had a jacked up tip. Like it's bad. I didn't notice it when I picked it up, but now as I'm sharpening it, I'm like, wow, the tip on this is just kind of wrecked. I don't know, Jeremy. I don't know what you did to your knife, bud. It's not him. It was the way it was ground. That's the first one of the cruxes I've seen that had a little bit of a grind issue at the tip. So these are significantly thicker than some of the others too. And I think that, but yeah, I've got a burr formed all the way across now. Yep. Time to stop on the course and move to something finer as soon as I adjust that angle. The custom fixed blades, I heat treated a couple last week. Planning on doing some grinding. But like I said, when I get a lot of stuff in for sharpening, that takes precedence. That's the business. The knife making, the custom knife making is always going to be knife maker time. When I have time to do it, it gets done. So there's 2 Hornets that I'm going to try and get ground here in the next week or so. One's for Philip, and the other one is for Pip. And so the plan is to get those ground. I have special handle material that Pip already sent me. He has a specific request. His is going to be a little bit more intensive. I've got stuff that's arriving today from Matt at Armitage Carry, because I got 2 of them done last month. It's just been a matter of getting back on track, because for one thing, I didn't have money for abrasives. I hit a hard spot, you know, and I can't spend money I don't have. So once I got the money to buy abrasive belts, I bought them, and I bought a bunch. It's not gonna be enough to finish all of them. I'm gonna have to buy belts again, but I definitely am making more progress. But we've also, the wife and kid just got back. We're getting into the rhythm of her school, her new skating schedule, because her school schedule changed. So all those things throw a hiccup in the mix. If I had a grinder and stuff here and a place to do it, I would just be out here in the yard grinding shit all day. It's just all there is to it. But I don't, and right now I can't afford that. So that's what a business loan is going to cover. It's going to cover the money we ran up on a credit card, me starting this business and getting everything in place, because there's expenses with any business. And I've run our credit card up to about half its limit. So business loan is going to be used to pay off, not all of it, not all the credit card, because we had charges on that card, but I want to keep it honest, and I want to pay off the charges that I've accumulated for the business since I started. And so part of that will be used for that, and then the rest of it will be used for stockpiling things that I know I need while I have that money, and starting to order some tools to basically duplicate the stuff that they have up at Fair and Forge at my house. Now, am I going to do it while I'm here? Probably not. That stuff will probably be left in boxes and stored somewhere in the garage until I figure out what we're going to do about moving to Arizona. It would be much easier, much cheaper for me to run a business in Arizona than to run it here. I still owe the IRS $800 for a compliancy fee that I have to pay. I mean, I already missed the deadline because I just didn't have any money, and I hadn't gotten all my information. I couldn't pay it anyway, so it was due last month. And yes, you can see the buck. So there was just no way to do it. And so what happens is I have to pay that next year. So it'll be $1,600 that's due by next August to keep me in the good graces with my compliance fee. I just don't have the money to pay it right now. So I told Dwayne Smotherman that I could probably be a stripper, but I would have to do it in reverse. Like, I would start taking my clothes off, and people would have to pay me to stop. It's like the reverse. Just go somewhere, start taking off my clothes, be like, you give me $100, and I will stop the music and put my shirt back on. If we don't get to $100, the pants come off. I wouldn't want to start naked. I'd just start, I don't think I would have to take off too many clothes before people were like, no, no, no. I was like, if you don't give me $100, this group, the pants come off. They come off. That's all there is to it. So, I used to be in the kind of shape I could have been a stripper, but that ship has fucking sailed. I scared myself. I tried to get the mirror in the bathroom good and foggy so when I get out of the shower, and I didn't get enough hot water going the other day, and I got out of the shower, I was like, huh! That's gonna haunt my dreams. You're just imagining it. I actually saw it. So these are those little, the smaller Vinev diamond stones that Dwayne got me, and they're wider. So I get more surface to use. I actually like these. These are like the pocket stone version of these. Now for some knives, you still need the narrow ones. Sometimes it's just better to have a little narrow stone to use for certain things. But yeah, it's these things work great. You just gotta remember not to push. Yeah, bonded. What do they call them? The sintered diamond. It's like a water stone. It actually dishes out. It actually breaks down. It forms a slurry. You have to resurface them every couple days that I use them. They really do. I have to admit, is the best finish I've seen from a diamond stone. When you get up, but they only go to 2,000 and I have to go up from there. So as long as you remember not to push real hard, you're not cutting into it, they last pretty well. They last longer, they last better. How do I flatten my stones? Depends on the stones. The aluminum oxide ones for the Edge Pro are harder than my stone that I use for flattening, and they actually will cut a groove. So what I have is, for those, I either do them on my diamond plate, or I have the glass plate and I put the silica carbide dust, and then I run them on this glass plate that you always see on my workbench. That's how you do the Edge Pro stones. The other stones that I have, the actual water stones, they're much softer, so you don't want to scratch them on that. I use this. This is a actual lapping stone. And so you just set your stone down and then you run this on it back and forth until you draw a grid pattern on it. And then you basically take off the material on either end, because what happens is your stones dish. And so you got a high spot here, a high spot here. This stone, you just basically take all that material back down to being flat, and you do a grid pattern on it. And areas where there's still pencil marks, once those are gone, your stone is flat. I've done videos. I did a video about flattening stones, I believe. I think that was the name of it, flattening my stones. So yeah, that's, yep, good and consistent. So then once I hit 2,000 grit, then this is a 2,000 grit Chaucera, or 3,000 grit, 3,000 grit Chaucera, and the Chaucera stones give you a different finish. So those diamond stones, they do a really good job, and like I said, probably the best finish I've seen in a diamond stone, but it's not as refined. It's still coarse. And so then I go up to the 3,000 grit Chaucera, and then I have a 5,000. These are only going to go to 5,000, if that. We'll see what they look like. The S35VN, like I've said before, I don't take it much above 3,000. So these might go to 5 or 8. I don't know. Depends on how it looks at 5. So, and it doesn't take you very long. Like that's pretty much it on that stone. The Chaucera stones do a really good job on some of the metals. Some of the metals, they don't polish it as quickly. S35VN, it does a really good job. So go to 5,000, see what it looks like. And I'm not, these comments, like I can see that there's comments, but I can't. There we go. Yeah, check it out. Like, I saw that there was a comment, but I can't see it. Like, I know I'm really starting to get frustrated with YouTube. I did, however, start playing around with some of the editing tools and change. So every time you watch a video, the music, I'm planning on for a while, the music's gonna be different every time. Just because, you know, why not have different music on the intro? So they have a ton of free music, and I just like things to be different. I want to keep things, how am I saying? I want to keep things fresh for you guys. I don't want you guys to like, oh fuck, that's that intro again. Like, the music, changing the music gives a different feel. I think it does, because I like the intro. I had been just using only the short version of the intro. And I'm like, yeah, but you know what? That doesn't show anything. I want to be able to show something. So we're gonna go to 8,000 now, and we'll see if it looks cloudy. We will go back down to 5. Let's see here. How does this look? Now, I do pay pretty close attention when I'm on the final stone, because you have to look and make sure that you've got it polished. All your little shoulders. This is where you're going to see if, like I said, my angles change as I'm doing this, but you still may have some shoulders that are apparent. And this is the stone where you're going to see it. When you get to that higher grit, this is probably going to have to go back down to 3. I don't know, we'll give it a second and see. But this is where you're going to see those issues, is on your final stone. And you might see that, oh, I didn't get that spot. No, it looks like it's going to be good at 8,000. What was that sound? I don't like when weird sounds come out of my house. But problem is, the strops are still wet, so we have to set this off to the side. We'll give it a touch on this, just to make sure I knock the burr off before we go back to the strops. I think I got that burr knocked clear off. Well, that's pretty good doing. That's 2 knives in 43 minutes. I am getting back onto the track I was on before I got all depressed and let things get in the way and spent too much time thinking about what I'm doing instead of actually just fucking doing it. Let's see, what else is in this box now? What else did he send me? Oh, there's pocket clips. Trying to figure out how to do those pocket clips for him. Oh, yeah. So, now mine has worn a little bit, but I'm going to show you. This is what my buck looked like versus what it looks like now. Now, WE does a pretty good job anodizing. But my problem with it is, most of the time, they oil seal stuff. When they oil seal it, it just takes away the pop on those colors. They're more subdued. They're more plain. And then when you do get a bit of scratches and things like that, they're more apparent because it's so much darker. And the other thing too is this is a much coarser finish than this. I tumbled the piss out of this before I anodized it. So it has a different feel. This feels a lot more like a Sebenza when you first buy it, before it gets some pocket wear. I don't like it. This is a lot smoother. And then the action on it, I played with a little bit of polishing compound and polished my detent ball and tracks. The action on this one is really smooth compared to what it was before. So there's a lot of times that just, there's a lot of finishes that come in on knives and I'm like, I could do this so quick and so easy for this guy. Did the wife and kid have fun on their trip? Yes, they did. I apologize if these, like I said, I keep having to click the thing to see. It won't let me just scroll up to see the comments. It's really starting to irritate the shit out of me. They always have fun when they go to Japan. They spend the time, my daughter gets to spend time with her cousins, my wife gets to spend time with her sister and her mother, and like my daughter's coach doesn't want her to go next year for the whole summer. And my thing is, you know what? I like her coach. I like her coach a lot. But the fact is, my daughter needs that. And my wife's parents are getting older. They're in their 70s. She's not going to have much time to spend with them. She never got to spend any time with my mom and dad. So really, that's, you know, none of us did. And so it's not such a big thing with that. But she's always been really close. Really, really close with my in-laws. And the flip side too is she's half Japanese. She needs that cultural immersion for her, especially at this age. She has to come to an identity of who she is on her own. So that cultural identity that she needs to have, she's not going to get here just by hanging out with other Asian kids. She needs that time in the country. So I heard somebody say that the tree with twin roots is always the strongest, but only when you water both sides equally. We'll get this buck sharpened. This shouldn't take too long. Let's see if I can do it in the next 15 minutes. These things are so thin, it doesn't take very much to set the angle. It's got a low spot here. Let's see, these fucking comments, god damn it. Been working on a knife I'm making, so I didn't catch the live feed till now. That's cool. It's not like I'm doing anything real fucking important here. Not curing cancer or solving world hunger. I just want to keep up the content for you guys. I know that not everybody gives a crap, but there's some people that, like, I start getting messages, like some of my YouTube subscribers that I talk to regularly, like on a personal basis, I start getting texts like, hey man, where are the videos at? And I think it gives, I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think that this adds a little bit to the business? Like, you can actually see the guy that's doing stuff for you, like maybe asking questions. You might catch a live feed when he's working on your stuff. I think that that's a cool thing, but you know, I'm new at this business thing. I'm new at it. Let's see, 49 minutes, so I got the time in 10 minutes to get this completely done. We'll see. We shall see. At least done enough that it's ready to strop once those strops have dried. So I will tell you, I'm just starting to notice more and more factory edges that just chip off. and as good as we does a job on their grinding for their edges, they're consistent and everything. I noticed on my buck that the first time I cut anything that was at all resistant, I cut the top off of a shampoo bottle. And that harder style plastic, the edge on my buck just chipped. And I'm not having that problem, and it's because it's still a fairly coarse edge. I think it was I was looking at it, and it's right around probably a 320 grit edge. That's still pretty coarse. They might hit it on a power strop, but which is what I do with my Viper neck knives. But I spend a lot of time on a power strop, and I basically sharpen that thing on that power strop, and my goodness, do they get sharp. But it's something I'm noticing more now that I'm dealing with a lot more production knives, a lot more knives coming in, where I can just see that, yeah, this guy's edge just peeled off and cracked. So I don't think it's a matter that they're ruining the temper. I just think that edge is just a little too coarse. You know what I mean? So we are on the 240 grit. I should be able to get it done. It shouldn't be that hard. I should be able to get that quick, fast, and in a hurry, as my grandfather would have said. Let's go 400. One of the keys, company does the best sharpening from the factory. I'm not gonna lie. I think the best edge I ever got on a knife was that Skaha. That Skaha 2. I think that was probably the best factory edge. Now, I would say Elliot's edges are probably some of the best that, you know, knives that he's made, but those aren't the same. He hand sharpens his knives as well. All of Elliot's knives are freehand sharpened after they get, in case you guys didn't know that. There's work that goes into that. Not anymore. They all come to me now when they're doing a production run. All of their knives in a run of 25 will come to me for hand edging, because Elliot was like, you know what, you do a really good job of it, and it's just, why not just provide that for the customer as part of the new, you know, you're spending $900 to $1,500 for a knife from them on their newer runs, because their runs are 25 and they're a lot different. They're more work intensive. They're doing a lot of specialty things now on their in-house runs. And he was like, why not just provide that? You know? Why not just provide that as a service? I'm like, I'm good with that. You know? Don't ask. I don't know when the next when the next in-house run is coming. I know that the Dow hit mass drop. That was one that really is, I think it's going to be popular. It's a nice knife. I got 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 6 minutes left, and I am already at 1,000 grit. But it's 1,200. This is a 1,200 grit. Let's see, is there any scratch pattern that I have missed? Oh gosh, that is so thin that just at the slightest touch it wants to cut into your fingernail. One of the things I will tell you is important is, remember, when you're sharpening, this is just a little sharpening tip. Because I got like 6 minutes that I want to try and get this done in. When you're sharpening and you're pushing it away and pulling it to you, remember what side you stopped on, Because like everybody's like, oh, I have to do one stroke on the opposite side. No, you don't. You can eliminate that burr by, so my last motion was this way, my burr is on this side, I'm gonna start by pushing it away from me. Just remember where you ended, and remember to start on the opposite side. You'll peel that burr off, and you don't have to worry about that. You know, like, did I do it? Did I take that burr off? I have not done the burr removal stroke before progressing to grit in a very long time. I figured out it's an unnecessary step. Economy of motion. I want to get as much done as I can with the, boy, oh boy. So we're already at 3,000 grit, and we will see how this, like I said, one of the other big ones is making sure that you stay on the coarser grits as long as necessary. As you get into the finer grits, they aren't going to require as much work if you've done the proper amount of work on the coarser grits. Because that scratch pattern gets finer and finer, it's easier to remove, and you wind up with spending less time on the coarser stones. And like some people are like, oh, well, that price jump from 8,000 to 10,000, we get it, the stones are expensive. That has nothing to do with it anymore. It really doesn't. I basically have started treating these abrasives as though they're free. That's the only way you'll be able to do it, because if you won't get done what you're wanting to do if you are being sparing, I guess would be the word. That upcharge is because, well, it's more work. More work equates more money. So, but spending the proper amount of time on a coarse stone is going to be the key to getting the finish and sharpening and edge that you want. Or what's going to happen is you are going to spend more time on those super fine stones, and they are more expensive, and you are going to cost yourself money by wearing out your fine stones prematurely. If that makes sense. I think it does. It does in my head anyway. But not everything that makes sense in my head makes sense to everyone. Fuck, I know I'm getting comments. I know I am, and people are probably like, this guy's not answering. I got my Patreon newsletter that I never read just now. What's up, Mike? Hey, Ben. Oh, shit. I never asked Elliot about it. I will try to remind myself to ask Elliot about the scales for ZT, or for Spyderco's. Sorry about that, bud. It was a hectic day. I was doing heat treat. And there we go. Just making, oh boy. Let's test. And I have 1 minute left in my time frame, and I just sharpened 3 knives in 1 hour. But to be honest, there was absolutely nothing wrong with any of these knives except a little bit of a correction that needed to be made on that crux. She'd be good. Guys, that's an hour. We're at 59 minutes, 30 seconds. I'm gonna close this out, let my phone have a chance to recover, because it's hot. I can feel it. Ooh, boy, is it hot. So you guys take it easy. The video that I shot this morning should be up. I'm finished edit it now, and then have it up for you guys tomorrow at noon. Unless you're Patreon, you'll see it today whenever I get it done and loaded. So, all right, you guys, take it easy. Let me see if there's any more comments that I didn't hit. Oh, Yeah, super leaf. Yeah, Ben, I'll get on that. So you guys, 60 minutes, 1 second. I'm out of here. Later.